Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive power shift that's happening right now in social media. And let's be real, it's making a lot of old strategies completely useless. If your playbook hasn't had a major update in the last year, you are already falling behind. So let's get into what the new rules are going to be for 2026.
Okay, let's just start with a question that every single brand, every creator needs to be asking themselves right now. Things are changing so fast that the tactics you're probably relying on today might be totally worthless by 2026. Seriously, are you ready for that? And this quote from Neil Patel just hits the nail on the head. For years, the entire game was about one thing: figuring out the algorithm, pleasing the algorithm. Well, that whole era, it's over. The power has completely flipped, and now the audience is the one in the driver's seat.
So let's break down what's actually causing this shift. Because this isn't just some small tweak to a platform. No, this is a full-on user revolution. And it's being driven by something I think we're all starting to feel. It's called social fatigue.
This visual really captures the whole change perfectly. We used to live in a push world, right, where algorithms would just force feed us whatever content they thought we wanted. But now we're moving to a pull economy. It's all about active curation. Users are now getting tools to fine-tune their feeds to literally mute entire topics they just don't care about. And for creators, this new user control has some pretty immediate and honestly kind of scary consequences. You can't just ride the wave of one viral video anymore. If your audience decides your stuff is irrelevant, they can literally just tune you out for good. You now have to earn their intentional attention with every single piece of content you post. But what's really fueling this whole user rebellion in the first place? Well, it's a very real thing: social fatigue. People, especially Gen Z, they're tired. They're exhausted from the endless scroll, the clickbait, and all of that junk food content that gives you a quick little dopamine hit but has zero real substance. And this right here is the heart of the shift. Think about it. You can't live on junk food forever. And in the same way, audiences are starting to reject junk content. They're swapping out those empty-calorie viral clips for what you might call nutrient-dense content, stuff that actually teaches them something, inspires them, or tells a really good story.
Okay, so if the user is now in control, how does that change the kind of content that actually works? Well, the old playbook is officially out the window. It's time for a brand new one. Now, this next point is going to sound a little weird, a little counterintuitive. In a world that is obsessed with short-form video, depth is making a huge comeback. Viewers are tired of just snackable little clips. They're starting to reward real, actual storytelling. And hey, it's probably not a coincidence that even TikTok is now pushing 10-minute uploads. And look, the data totally backs this up. A recent study found that long-form video drives way more meaningful engagement. And why is that? It's because people don't just watch it, they connect with it, they discuss it, they get invested. And for the platforms, we all know watch time is king. A longer video with high retention is way more valuable now than some fleeting viral clip. You know, this whole search for nutrient-dense content is also fueling another massive trend. Users are starting to skip Google altogether. They're turning to platforms like TikTok and Instagram as their main search engines for pretty much everything, from tutorials to product recommendations. And the scale of this shift is it's staggering. 64%. That's how many people in Gen Z are now using TikTok as their go-to search tool. When they need to find a new restaurant or learn how to do something, their first instinct isn't to Google it anymore, it's to search for a video. So, to actually capitalize on this, you've got to start thinking differently. You have to treat every single social media post with the same kind of discipline you'd use for a web page. That means doing your keyword research, optimizing your captions, and really focusing on creating evergreen content that answers the questions your audience is actively searching for.
Now, this change in user behavior, it isn't just about views and likes. Not at all. It is fundamentally reshaping the entire social economy. So let's look at the three big pillars of this new economy: commerce, credibility, and connection. First up, commerce. The link in bio is dead. Officially, the platforms want to keep users on their apps at all costs, right? So they're building these super seamless native shopping experiences. The whole sales journey, from the moment you discover a product to the moment you check out, it all happens right inside the app. And the results are pretty dramatic.
Brands that are using native tools like TikTok Shop are seeing a 20 to 40% jump in their conversion rates. And it makes sense, right? It's simple. When you remove the friction of clicking an external link, you make it so much easier for people to actually buy something.
Okay, next up, let's talk about credibility, because the very definition of influence is changing. It's not just a numbers game anymore. Brands are now looking for true expertise. A niche creator with 50,000 super engaged followers is way more valuable than a generic lifestyle influencer with 1 million followers who just passively scroll by.
And finally, connection. This new economy is being built on authenticity. And that's exactly why this trend of virtual AI-powered influencers is already failing. Audiences have totally rejected them for one simple reason. It feels like you're talking to an automated customer service bot. People want real human connection, not some synthetic, perfect avatar. And the data on this is crystal clear. 60% of major brands have zero plans to use virtual influencers. They say it's because of low authenticity and really poor engagement. The return on investment just isn't there when the audience doesn't trust the source.
So, what do you do with all this? We've talked about the audience shift, the evolution of content, and this new social economy. Now let's put it all together into a clear, actionable playbook that's going to help you win in 2026. This table really sums up the entire shift perfectly. The old way, it was all about fighting the algorithm. The new way is about winning over the user. The old way was chasing virality. The new way is about delivering real, consistent value. The old way was pushing people to external links. The new way is frictionless, in-app commerce. And the old way was just chasing followers. The new way is about building genuine authority. Look, at the end of the day, adapting to these trends, it's not optional anymore. It's really the difference between thriving and just disappearing. So the final takeaway is one single question to ask yourself before you post anything. Is this just adding to the noise, or am I delivering real meaning? In this new social economy, that's the only question that truly matters.